Test, test, test. There we go. Now we have sound. We should have sound. According to the um, StreamYard, I should have sound. Let me know in the chat if I have it. I'm looking at it now. I should have it. Cool, thanks. Yeah, I just felt like going live because I'm not doing anything on this beautiful Saturday night. So I was gonna come on. There's a concept I want to talk about. I didn't like make it up myself. I coined the phrase life ratios, but I think it's a powerful concept, and I just wanted to go over it with you guys, share a little bit about what's going on with the channel and new things that I'm doing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We got Koshin. Good to see you, buddy. I love the intro too. It's a really nice one. And we got Corey Geary. Hey, look at that. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is the one of the things I wanted to talk about. Skool. I guess since you brought it up, we'll talk about it first. And yeah, Corey, we'll talk about Actuator. I'll go over it, and then if we have time, we'll talk about life ratios too. But yeah, we'll start with Skool, and then from there we'll go into Actuator, and from there we'll go into life ratios. I think that sounds like a good lineup for the day. So this is the Skool page, posting it in the chat below. And then I'll share my screen. All right. So yeah, this is a Skool community. I'm gonna build a community on Skool, a free one right now, and it's gonna offer basically a hub. It's like a social media platform for us to talk about things and give you guys a more direct line access to me if you want it, or if you find that valuable. See, we have more people roll in. Feel free to say hi, guys. So yeah, this is Skool, Skool, and it's the crypto treehouse. So there's a couple cool things about this website. First is that you can make a post. So it's like, this post is being made on stream. Hi, audience. Then you post that, and then and then it'll pop up down here. So it's like a forum, a chat board for everybody to chat and ask questions about. I do this questions of a day, which is pretty popular. So you got like all of this comments about, like, I ask a question, you guys answer, and I'll give you my feedback on it, and you guys can respond to each other. Or if you want to post questions yourself, we have Nick McGettit over here, making some posts. And so if you have a question that you wanted to ask me, this is a good place to get access to me. There are also DMs too, which is pretty cool. And then, oh, hey, what's up, Tiago? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. Now, what my bigger plan for this is, I am building out a course right now. So it's still in the draft phase, the Crypto Sloth course. And this is pretty much going to be my brain dump of everything I know about crypto right now. So I want to make that available to people. I want people to get value out of it. I'm in the process of making it right now. I'm making the slides and planning the logical order of things. But eventually this is the place where it'll be hosted. I may put like some snippets of it on YouTube, but then it'll mostly link back to the Skool community. Because I want this place to be a hub for people to get good information on crypto and just building a community as a whole. There are 57 members in here. I don't have any plans to make this a paid group. I have my paid group still on Telegram, and if people are interested in that, they can join it. But this is just a place to, conglomerate and organize and talk about crypto, kind of under the Crypto Sloth banner. And of course, when Trinity comes out and stuff, I'll be posting exclusive content here. At some point, I'm going to start up at least a monthly call every single month with the people in this group. So it'll be a Zoom call. And I'm going to start out with once a month, and if there's good demand, maybe we do more. But this calendar will show up those times. Yeah, of course, good question. Why not set up a Telegram group as Discord instead of a forum? So I like the Telegram group / Discord for the private group and the paid group because it has a more intimate feel to it, like more like you're DMing. I think this allows for better collaboration between members, and that's basically because of, like, you make a post and then you make comments and then people can comment on it, and everything's really organized versus like Telegram. It's like all the messages coming in at once. The organization isn't as great. So I think for building a free community, this is a great option. And, the benefit of being able to host your courses and have a calendar for members to do like calls and stuff, as well as, it has a nice little gamification thing on it, where the more comments you make and the more likes you get on those comments and posts, you level up through over time. And there's like a leaderboard. So like I like to reward members who are engaging and people who are early to the stuff that I do, like my early supporters. And so this allows me to track it really, really easily. So the Telegram, I'm continuing to be a paid thing if you want a more direct access to me. But if you just want to be part of the community, this is pretty much the way that I'm going to have that set up. I like it a lot more than like a Telegram free community personally. So this is what I'm doing. I would love to see you guys in there. Click the link and join up if you'd like. And yeah, come participate, come have fun. All right, let's bring this down. Let's pull up my, and yeah, if you guys have questions on that, let me know. And then let me pull this up, draw, boom. All right, so let's talk about Actuator because Corey wanted to talk about that. Pull this back up. So yeah, Actuator is a pretty cool protocol. I like it a lot. Let's go just the bare basics of kind of like what it does. All right. So just to put it simply, the Actuator protocol allows you to create bond coupons for Hex. So right now there are three main pools, HTT 3000, HTT 5000, and HTT 7,000. Now you can create your own, but these are the ones that have liquidity because of the farms. And essentially what you're able to do is, let's say you have liquid Hex. So you have Hex over here. You can stake it via an HSI. So stake HSI. And if you stake it around day 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 in terms of like Hex days, so not like 3,000 days of staking, it's like we're like at day 1810 or something like that. So if you had a stake that was like 1,200, 2,200, and 5,200 days from today, then it'd be really easy to put it into these protocols because they end on the correct day. You can have it before or after. That's just a little bit more complicated of a strategy. So stake HSI for X days, or if you already have them, and then you can deposit in the protocol. So deposit HSI into Actuator. And then what you can then do is mint HTT tokens. And the way that the minting works is that, let's say you put in 100K Hex. On day one of your stake, when you make it, so day one, you can mint 100K of your HTT token. And then let's say over a 30-day period, you earn 30 or 100, let's just do 1,000 to make it easier, 1,000 Hex tokens. You can then mint 101K HTT tokens. So the number of Hex tokens that your stake is comprised of that has been earned. So like, your principal is obviously all there because it's your principal. And then every day that you get reward, you can mint new HTT tokens. And the main value proposition of it is that, and we'll do this with a new color. We'll go over here. Is that at redemption day, one HTT equals one Hex. So at day 3,000, you can exchange via the protocol each HTT token that you have for one Hex token at the end. And then day 5,000, one of these for one Hex, etc., etc. So every HTT token that is minted is a representation of one Hex that is currently staked and delegated to the specific HTT pool that it's in. And so this is basically a bond coupon is essentially what this is. And so over time, you don't get to redeem that that token until the end date. So at the day of your stake or before that day, the HTT token is going to trade HTT price. So the price of the HTT is going to be less than the price of Hex before the end date, especially the further out you go. And the reason why is because they're not the redemption of it, its underlying value of 1 hex is not available to be redeemed at that given point in time. So because you have to wait a period of time to be able to get that 1 hex out, these naturally on the market are going to trade for less than its intrinsic value at the end point. What this does allow you to do is get immediate liquidity from your hex tokens, from your hex stakes, if you have HSIs or if you plan to make new stakes in the future. And that's pretty cool. So it's like, let's say HTT 3000 equals 50% of the price of hex. Price hex, right? So when you make a stake, like let's say you make 100,000 hex stake, you can immediately get back 50K hex or 50K dollar value worth of hex. Now you are giving up your principal if you sell it into hex, because you would need those HTT tokens to redeem for your principal at the end. But like, let's say you were buying T-shares and you wanted to do something with the principal that you had in the meantime, say like a liquidity farm, or maybe speculate on something else that you think can re-get your hex faster than the timeline of your stake. Well, this is a way that you get that liquidity. So yeah, that's pretty cool. They have these farms right now, which is probably the biggest attraction of it. And so all of those pools, the HTT 3000, 5000, and 7000, each have their own individual pool with hex. And this makes sense because hex is the underlying thing of value. So you want people to be able to swap easily from hex and these HTT tokens. And so these are the pools, and then you earn the actuator token in that farm. And then the actuator token earns fees, so you can stake ACTR in an individual pool. So in either the HTT 3000 or 5000 or 7000, not all of them at once. So you have to pick one, and then you earn the fees. So earn protocol fees. Right. So every time you make you mint some HTT, there's a small fee associated with it, and a percentage of that goes to people who are staking the actuator token. So that's like the value proposition of the actuator token. As of right now, it's an emission token, kind of like ink. And I'll pull this down. Let me pull up the farms really quickly to see exactly how much they're paying out. One second, everybody. Just pulling up a fresh wallet. Go update. Boom. All right, there we go. And then, so right now they're paying a little over 300% APR right now in the actuator token. So yeah, the deposits are really, really good. There's a decent amount of liquidity, especially for the 7,000 one, because that's the one that's getting the biggest amount of rewards right now. But yeah, if you wanted a place to go lock up your hex or stake or farm with your hex, this has a really good value proposition. And the reason why is because these HTT tokens are essentially hex themselves, right? Because at the end of their period, they're going to be worth 1-to-1 to hex. So theoretically, if the market found a fair value price relative to hex, so like a discount relative to hex, then and that discount stayed fairly consistent over time, then its USD price should move with hex, logically speaking. Now, over time, you know, this if we think this is like 1-to-1 to hex, if this is like a 1-to-1 HTT to hex, these tokens are going to oscillate but move towards 1-to-1. So you will get impermanent loss for sure, because the HTT tokens over time are going to get more valuable relative to hex as you get closer to the redemption day. Then on the redemption day, it's 1-to-1. But in terms of USD price, they should theoretically move together. So your impermanent loss risk is almost as mitigated as you can possibly get in these farms. Koshin had a good question, kind of similar to Calm, similar-ish, right? So Calm is a separate token that's issued to you because through your staking, based on the time and the amount that you're staking. And so you get like 50% upfront or percent upfront, and then a percent at the end. But by minting Calm, you're not digging into your principal in this or your rewards in the same way that you are with these HTT tokens. It's very, very different. So there's a similarity in that you can get some money back immediately, but there's a big difference in the quality of the tokens that you're getting on the way back. One is a coupon for Hex in the future. Another is a separate coin, with its own market and own value proposition. So the main narrative with Calm right now is that it's like marketing dollars for Hex. So it's like if you can get a percentage rebate on your Hex stake, then that may incentivize people to stake in the future if that rebate is high enough. This is kind of like a rebate, except you're digging into the money that you have earned through your Hex stake and your principal. Versus Calm, all of the stake is still yours. But with Calm, they have to be native stake, so you can't do both of these at the same time because these have to be with HSIs in the Actuator protocol. Because if not, there's no way to deposit it. So yeah, as of right now, they're two completely separate things. But maybe one day in the future, if we get the HMIs from Icosa Hedron version 2 and the Actuator protocol add support for them, then what we'd be able to do is get both. So you could get the Calm reward because the HMIs will have the ability to run any other transactions that are associated with Hex stakes, which HSIs can't right now unless they're built in to like the Calm contracts. So maybe in the future you can get your Calm rebate and you can still access this liquidity. But this has been one of the bigger opportunities on Pulse Chain right now. Not super heavily talked about. Definitely people know about it because the APRs are going down and the TVL is going up. But yeah, that's something that I've been pretty heavy in lately. Not very heavy, but like I've moved some money around to be able to take advantage of those higher APRs. At the beginning, they were over 1,000%. And then now they're about 300%, but that's to be expected. Hey Tam, how are you doing? And yeah, there are no farms. Hey Tam, good to see you. David, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. When you put Actuator Vault, you're an HTT, but the value of the HTT is different value. Correct. So there are different tokens with different dollar value prices. One important note, I believe there's a 90-day lock period when you deposit those Actuator tokens. So keep that in mind. You got 3 months before you can get that liquidity back. But yeah, so the value of the HTT is different from the value of Actuator. Correct. 2 separate tokens, 2 separate price charts, different. Corey gets it now. Everybody clap for Corey. Way to go, buddy. Just took one quick explanation, but yeah, it's pretty simple. Once you kind of see the whole picture of it, it's not that complicated, but you can get a lot more complicated and a lot more granular with it. Let me pull this up and go to the dashboard because they RJ the developer of it, he built it, and if you go on my stream with their interview, he was giving the presentation. But you can see their discount relative to Hex right now. So it's like if you buy HTT 7,000, you're locking in a 41% gain in Hex at day 7,000, but you don't get it till the end. And so these show you the discounts. These show the prices over time. There was a time where the 3,001 was less than all the other ones, which is pretty crazy. Liquidity has been pretty consistently going up over time, which is pretty cool. They also have a PHUX pool right now that is 50% Actuator, 50% Hex, and 50% Pulse. Yeah. And then, this is a cool part of the site right here, the stake analytics. So you can make a hypothetical stake. So stake 100,000 stake days. Let's see, 2,000. Submit, and then it gives you all these metrics right here. So it's like your intrinsic value, relative to the end stake and redemption day, and it'll tell you how much projected intrinsic value you should have in Hex terms by then. Extractable value across redemption days. So it's like how much extractable value do you have over time relative to your redemption day. So yeah, this is a pretty good tool for you guys to use. still wrapping my head around it mostly. But yeah. Oh, hey, we got Alan in the house. What's up, man? What's the ratio for erect? Are you winning, son? That's called the ratio that we got of all of 2021, 2022, and 2023. The ratio is 0, sir. You've lost all your money. But yeah, any questions about the Actuator protocol or more clarifications that you want? Oh, hey, we got JD in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. Pulse Titan. Yeah, I know, Alan. I'm hilarious. I should be a stand-up comic. All right. So I'll give you guys a second to put any questions as I get my screen back up. And then we'll talk about life ratios. All right. Okay, so life ratios. All right. Let's do it. So life ratios. I like this concept a lot. Get a little cleaner. Oops. All right. So life ratios, you guys have all like heard of this before. Somi talks about it a lot. And this is a concept that I like a lot that helps you decide when it's like appropriate to take profits for you and your bag. And the easiest way to put it is valuing your crypto portfolio in terms of what it gets you in real life. So valuing portfolio relative to IRL. So there are is this a free for all radio talk or is specific to an ecosystem? I don't know what you mean, man. It's just me talking right now. But if you want to talk about something, just throw it in the chat. Is this I don't know what hex one is, Tam. I'm sorry. So yeah, valuing portfolio relative to IRL. So there are a couple ways to do this. A couple like very common ways that things that you can value in your real life relative to your crypto portfolio. The first one, the most common one, is monthly expenses. Another one is debt. Another one, big purchase. So think like house down payment, a car, appliances, whatever it might like purchases, like big purchases that might take a good amount of your your cash or your monthly income. And so what you can start to do is like take your crypto portfolio and then like value it versus these things. So monthly expenses is like yeah, Corvettes and Lamborghinis. That's right, Corey. So like let's say you have a portfolio size of whatever, and then all of a sudden prices go up, and then you have this scenario. So 25% of your portfolio equals 6 months expenses. Just to pick something easy. Right? Oh, I misspelled that. Expense. Okay. And so what you have to ask yourself is it worth continuing to have exposure to crypto for 6 months of my living expenses? And so you have a couple scenarios, right? So you have scenario one, where it's like crypto goes up, and you get more expenses, right? Or another one, crypto goes down. Let's spell crypto here. Crypto goes down, and then you lose 6 months of expenses, right? So at this point, you have to ask yourself, is it worth me risking this 6 months of expenses for the potential to have more, or is it going to do me more good to go ahead and lock those expenses in because it provides me, and this is really the key to life ratios, like some kind of psychological benefit, right? So if you're living like say month to month, for example, well, 6 months of income is a huge deal. Like it provides you a lot of room. And this is something actually I've kind of gotten from Alex Hormozy, but like when you don't have the ability to pay for things in the immediate term, that prevents you from thinking like being able to think longer term. So it's like the more financial security you have, the more you're afforded to think long term and can take like more risks because you have that security that like your roof is going to be over your head, your food's going to be on the table, like your family's going to be taken care of, etc., etc. And so for someone in that situation, like let's say who's living paycheck to paycheck on a thin budget, this 6 month of expenses could be a really big deal. And even if this more expenses can get up to say like 2 years in the future, it's not really worth risking that current psychological and financial security that comes with locking in those gains now. And that's really important because when you are under stress and when you have like a larger psychological burden, the probability of you making poor decisions go up, or the probability that you make better decisions goes down. Generally, like generally, stress makes it harder to make good decisions. And so, you're only giving up 25% of your portfolio in this instance. So I guess in total, your whole portfolio is worth 24 months or 2 years of expenses. Maybe it's worth cashing in that 6 months of expenses so that you know that you have a cushion going forward, and then you have the rest of the 75% to continue to work for you in the market so that you can get more later. Now, maybe it might not be worth it if this turned into, say, 75%. Let's go the opposite way. 75%. We're like, well, now I'm taking too much of my portfolio out and I really lose out on my potential to make more life-changing gains in the future, so it's not worth it. And so like Corey brings up a good point. He says he wants 20 years of income. So this is basically retirement money. And so when you're in a place where you're able to make money well, you're not worried about being able to support your family, then you can start to take more of a risk in terms of how long you wait to take those profits, because everything in your material world is much more secure or very secure. Now, the reason why I like this so much is because it allows you to make a definitive decision in the moment, weighing all the options. And so that even if things go the opposite way, so it's like you take that profit, that 6 months of expenses off the table, and then crypto continues to go up. We're like, well, I made the correct decision with the information that I have and with the uncertainty of the returns going forward into the future. So even though I missed out on those returns, the decision I made when I made it was the best one that I could have made considering all of the factors. And especially when you're able to keep money in your portfolio, it makes it easier to stomach that. Because one of the things we're mitigating against, especially when we're talking about alleviating psychological stress on your ability to relieving psychological stress so that you have a better ability to make good decisions going forward. So you're increasing the probability that you're going to make more better decisions over time than if you didn't do this thing because you're stressed out or whatever it is. You are protecting yourself basically from that, even if things move in the direction that's a good or bad or whatever, bad relative to the decision you made. You're offside in that trade. You know that you made the correct decision with the information that you had, and this is what the point I was trying to get to. And you're protecting yourself from like FOMOing back in because of like, I made the wrong decision, I need to get in so that I can get the next returns. Because typically when you do that second buy-in at a higher price, that's when like prices go down. Like it's like when you buy back in again, then you lose your money because you thought you were going to the run was going to continue or whatever it is. And so this is just a framing that I use personally in my portfolio that I want to I'm going to continue talking about this in my course that I'm coming out, but I wanted to go over it again because I think it's really valuable. So generally what you do, just as a recap, is that you value your portfolio relative to something in your real life. And then you figure out, okay, how would like my emotions or like my mindset change if I got this thing in my real life? And would it make it so that I am able to mentally make better decisions going forward? And another way to think about this is like maybe, and it might not just be with like better decisions in crypto, right? It's like you have a whole life outside of crypto. You probably have a job, a career, family, etc., etc. And so this making better decisions doesn't just apply to like investing in crypto, but it applies to your whole life. So maybe the alleviation of the burden of having 6 months of alleviation of the burden of wondering where your next months of expenses are going to come from, where that money comes from, maybe that allows you to take more responsibility at work, or maybe it allows you to see opportunity at work that you couldn't see before because your mind was clouded on getting that next paycheck, so that later on you're making more money to DCA into crypto at a later point in time, so that you make more money, in a cycle or two, versus if you just tried to play the crypto cycle right now with 100% of your stuff, right? So this is a multi-dimensional framing tool that you can use to try to win more on a longer time frame. Unless you're Alan and you have no friends, and in this case, this is Alan's ratio. So we got this part's for you, Alan. All right. So percent of your portfolio, to buy friends. Right, so like how many friends can you buy like with your hex returns? And if you have no friends, like just one friend is going to be like an infinity percent return on your lifestyle right now, right? So just when you make some returns, hex is trying to break 2 cents right now. Maybe when it gets to 3 cents, you put down the Doritos for a second, and you go out and you buy some friends, and you start building a life, buddy. Maybe that'll work for you. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. No, where's my mouse? There it is. Game over. Hey, Aussie Stone. Great to hear, Sloth. Great to hear from you again, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I still plan to stream and whatnot. I can buy a lot of friends with millions of dollars. Well, if you allocate one of those millions to me, Corey, I will also be your friends. I'll even babysit for you one day. Just one. It's only $1 million, but I'll do it. Don't worry. Probably buy Bitcoin. Maybe you can buy a boxing match with him and then raise more money, because celebrity boxing matches are the new thing. So yeah, any questions on this concept, guys? Did you find it helpful? First of all, let me ask that. Did you get something out of this concept? Do you feel like you learned something? Make better decisions? Let's see. I know Alan had a question. I'll let you guys type in the chat if this was helpful as I read Alan's question. So let's see. Okay, Icosa potential. Yeah, good question. So let me have to recollect my thought. I learned I can buy friends. You're welcome, Alan. All right. So with the details we have about, we'll start with this. The details we have about icosahedron version 2, Icosa and Picosa will basically be one token in the end, and you can convert, one Icosa to one Picosa over on V2. They're essentially the same token, and you can use both tokens on both chains on version 2. And so what is a potential thing that is interesting there is that you'll be able to mint the combined token on both chains, right? So if you put in your hex HMIs, and all the HSIs are upgradable, so any HSIs you have can be HMIs. You put that in to buy Icosa, or you mint the Hedron. Well, those tokens that you got on Ethereum can be used, let's use Hedron for example, to bid on P hex stakes, right? So you can get a lot of those other tokens on the Ethereum side, and then all of a sudden use them and arbitrage the value over on the Pulse chain side. And what that could do is raise the price of the Ethereum Icosa and Hedron assets on the Ethereum side. And that could do so in a way that increases the price sufficiently to hit some of those arbitrage points we talked about like years ago at this point. So there's some interesting things that can happen if sufficient volume goes through like the auctions. If Icosa gets like a use case, maybe if Alex builds a protocol and you need Icosa to do it, that could incentivize like some volume to go through. That could theoretically close the ratio gap that we see now. Of course, we're going to have to see what the exact details are, but theoretically, all of these things are possible. But the main thing that we are the official details that we have is that Icosa, Picosa will both convert 1-to-1 to the new token over on V2. So if you are buying these assets to get the new version, then what you want to do is buy the cheaper one because you're going to get more units. That's pretty much the long and short of it there. Hard to say yes, we need a demo. Here's your demo, Koshin. You hit me up in the DMs. I'll tell you what my price is to be your friend. Just kidding. But yeah, I hope that answered your question, Alan. Let me know. Let me know if it did or did not. Oh man. All right. So what else do we have, guys? Any other questions? Anything else you want to talk about? Let me put the treehouse, the Skool community back in the chat. There's that. No problem, Alan. Let's see, Koshin. Sloth, is there a way to get V2 of your LP course? Yeah, send me a DM and I can get you sorted out on that. Do it on Twitter or Telegram. If we're probably in some of the same Telegram rooms, so send me a DM and I can get you squared away. Give you the options. And then finally, yeah, just refresh on the tree on the Skool community. I would love to have you guys in there. I'm going to be posting content here pretty consistently, uploading my courses here, the new one, and then any courses I do in the future will also be posted here. So I would love to see as many of you guys in this page as possible. My about page is pretty bland. I haven't made my intro yet, but it's all coming. It's early days, baby. Early days. And so I like to reward people who come in early. And it's still early because I'm building it out. But I figured I might as well let people get some of the value out of it by having a direct line of contact to me by making these posts. And then eventually there will be rewards for like your levels as you go up. And just to show you guys a bit of my profile here, I'm level 4 and I need like 84 points to level up. So it takes like, more and more points for each level, more and more like engagements to move up. So I really hope, please join, guys. I would love to have as many of you guys in here as possible. It's free. There's no charge and you can leave at any time or never open up Skool again. And yeah, there's no cost to join the Skool community to join Skool as a base user. There is a cost to host these communities, though. But I'm happy to shoulder that burden for you all. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? And let me put my Twitter in there for you, Koshin, so that you can send me a DM. My DMs are open. Hey, what's up, Axis? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, you've been working hard, putting out content. I know you got the live launch coming up relatively soon, so I wish you the best of luck with that. I guess I'll talk about Trinity for a little bit. Now that we're talking about launching protocols, we are back at the testing phase after we added some new features not too long ago. So we'll be doing our internal testing relatively soon. And then after internal testing is audits. And then after audits is launch. So that's where we're on in the timeline. Still early days, relatively, it's software. It happens when it happens. So no definitive dates, but you will know when it launches. And so I believe, if I remember correctly, there are still ocelots available. Yeah, there are still plenty of ocelots available. I'll put that in the chat. So if you wanted a cheap entry into the Trinity ecosystem before it launches, there are ocelots to mint for 1 million pulse, and those will get you ocelot tokens on the back end when the protocol launches. Last time I checked, the floor for my NFTs are like 6 million pulse. It's not really like that impressive, just because there's really not much volume. So the Trinity stuff will help with the volume because the volume will be offset onto the tokens themselves. And then the Squirrels NFTs. Let me look what their floor is right now. And yeah, 1 week till a live launch. That's pretty cool. Where are the squirrels? There are too many squirrels on Pulse Market. Should be on the most popular one because yeah, there we go. Yeah, so the floor price for a squirrel right now as it loads is. I'll share the screen with you guys. Trinity. Oh yeah, Trinity, Dave, is that's my protocol that I'm launching. So I have my NFT collection right now, Sloth DDS. 4 million pulse for your squirrel, your SQS, and then for the sloths. So just a quick overview of what the protocol is for you. It's basically an escrow contract, and so you can deposit one of these NFTs into the protocol, and then out from that, the protocol will mint you for the sloth tokens. It'll mint you 555 sloth tokens. If there's an NFT in the contract, you can redeem 555 tokens for an NFT. So it basically makes NFTs and the tokens like essentially the same because of there's an internal redemption rate based on the contract. And then I have an NFT project, Red Squirrel has one, and Hexecutioner has one. So we each have our NFT project with our respective tokens. And then you can take a certain number of each of our tokens, so like let's say 3 of each, and then put that into the contract and get one Trinity token. So the Trinity token is a representation of all 3 of the tokens, which are representations of their individual NFTs. So if you own a bunch of Trinity tokens, it's almost as if like you own a bunch of these NFTs. Or if you own the NFTs, you can redeem them for Trinity tokens. So this allows for some really fun levers that we can pull as the founders of this ecosystem. And yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, floor price 6 million, 6 million pulse right here. And it goes up pretty drastically to 9 million and then 12 million. So yeah, they're a little bit more expensive. The supply for pretty much once the ocelots mint out, then the total supply of the entire ecosystem will be out on the market. So all of the sloth tokens already exist because the NFTs minted out. So they're all already distributed. All of the squirrels are already distributed. So that supply is out. If you want to get those tokens ahead of time, you have to get the NFT. I recommend for, especially for mine, I won't talk for Red Squirrel or Hexecutioner, but for my stuff, I would just recommend waiting till it comes out and buying the token off the market, unless you wanted to get an NFT ahead of time. For ocelots, go ahead and mint the tokens because this is probably the cheapest you'd be able to get into the ecosystem, excluding a major dump. Because if you're being honest with NFT projects that get liquidity, typically experience a dump because they're such an illiquid asset that there are people who want to exit but can't because of the lack of volume or the lack of liquidity. So would not be surprised, just following that general rule if there's an initial dump. But it's a fixed supply asset. Like all of these NFTs already exist. So at least I'm going to be buying up my own supply so that I own a lot of it. I'm not even a top holder. There's somebody who minted 20 who's like the top holder in my collection. So I'll be fighting for a percentage of the supply myself so that I can have control of my own project. So yeah, it'll be it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun times. I'm looking forward to moving more towards more away from an investor and more towards like a builder and project founder. I find that a lot of the knowledge that I have around liquidity providing and market making really doesn't serve one as an investor all that much, or at least it doesn't get like I know a lot, but there's not much actionable stuff you can do as just an investor with that knowledge. I mean, there definitely is plenty you can do in terms of passive income and taking profits in a healthy way for the market, et cetera, et cetera. But I think where I really can let my knowledge and skill set that I've developed over the last couple of years shine is by having my own project. And it's a lifelong project, right? Like these things don't go away. As long as Pulse Chain exists, Sloth NFTs, Sloth tokens, Trinity tokens are going to exist. So the way I described it when I launched the NFT collections is that these are kind of a place where I can funnel value and reward people who have voiced their support of me, my work, and my brand on the blockchain. So yeah, it's I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a big upgrade for me. A lot more stuff to talk about content wise, a lot more stuff for me to be able to do on the blockchain and express the skill set that I have in a way that's more than just as an investor. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get it out. And it's not going to be all sunshine and happy times forever. It's going to be, there are bear markets, there are liquidity squeezes. Um, Things happen. But the cool thing about, and this is what I've been thinking about, the cool thing about a crypto project is that you have infinite numbers of chances to recover, infinite number of chances to, you know, succeed in the future, right? Especially with like a fixed supply asset because there are only so many tokens. So you don't have to continuously bring in, you don't have what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have a coded in devaluation in terms of dollar terms of your token because it's a fixed supply. So it's like you can buy up the supply yourself to increase the price if you want and just make it your own little personal store of value for fun. But like if big dumpers come out in a fixed supply asset, like there are only so many that they have and they can't get more unless they buy back in. Infinitely non-finite. That's right. Hey, what's up, Max? Good to see you, man. We don't have many viewers, but we have some cool people in the chat hanging out tonight. But yeah, you basically have infinitely non-finite. Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Why not? You have as many chances as you want to make your thing succeed, because it just exists on the blockchain, and it's going to be around forever. And of course, bear markets. These assets will probably be tied to the Pulse price somehow because they're going to be Pulse chain assets. So there will probably be liquidity with Pulse. So if Pulse goes down hard, it's going to be hard to keep the USD price of these assets up. But that's crypto. That's the game we're playing, and so I'm excited to start playing it at a different level. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of growth, a lot of learning. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys? RX Max coming in late, sloughing around. But yeah, I'm happy to stay on for a little longer if any 11 of you guys wanted to chat about something else. If not, I'll go ahead and start closing out the stream. I appreciate you guys coming. Like always, I really do not put much planning into these streams. I just kind of go live. I always appreciate that the 10 to 20 of you that come just to hang out with me and watch me and listen and contribute. So I really appreciate that. Skool community, go ahead and join. I'll put the chat in one more time if I haven't shielded enough. Love to see as many of you guys in there as possible. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Doesn't look like we have any other questions, so I'll go ahead and close things out. And hey, Koshin, thanks for coming and participating today. I appreciate you, dog. All right, guys, that is it for me. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will be around. Peace out.